Welcome to the first Autocar India Expo Buzz podcast presented by Kotak Mahindra Prime, where we're going to be starting our coverage of Auto Expo 2014 with Hormazd Sorabjee. But Hormazd, before we get to the cars, and there are a lot of new cars expected at the Auto Expo, I want to talk about the changes to Auto Expo itself. We now have a new venue, the India Expo Mart at Greater Noida, and the dates have been pushed back now to the first and second weeks of February. What do you make of those changes? Long overdue?
Well, I think really most significant changes. I think everything is for the better of it. Perhaps the location. The location is really far from Delhi. But other than that, I think you've got a lot going in favor of it. I think February is a better time. The weather's better. It doesn't clash with Detroit show. And I think, having the cars and bikes and in one place and the component guys in the other place, I think that makes a lot of sense because, it's a lot more focused. It's a lot more easier to get around. And I've seen the new venue and it's really far better than what Pragati Maidan was. Of course, the component show is still at Pragati Maidan. But, I think just given the way the whole Auto Expo has expanded, I think this really was long overdue. And I think, frankly, it's got the makings of a great show because if you see the layout, everything's quite tight, compact, and there's not too much walking around. You won't need a new pair of feet like you did with previous Auto Expos. I think the crowd will be a lot less because the crowds were really unmanageable at Pragati Maidan. Everyone just coming like there for a picnic. So if this venue is going to be 30 k's or more away from Delhi, it's going to attract the serious visitor.
Well, and for those of you who are looking at dates, the 5th and 6th of February is going to be the media days, and after that, the 7th to the 11th is the Auto Expo, like I said, at India Expo Mart. And Hormazd, some manufacturers aren't even waiting for the 5th and 6th. Hyundai are going to be starting things off on the 4th of February with a global unveil.
Absolutely. I think, Hyundai are clearly, they are really banking a lot on 2014. They've got a lot of products in there and they've got two actually launches. So they don't want to have it on the same day or on the first day of the show when everyone's going to be really taking the covers off. So clearly they've got the Grand i10. That's really a big global launch. And they've even got the all-new Santa Fe. Now that's been a long time coming. We had expected it last year, but I think they're finally bringing it. And we've driven that exclusively in the UK and in Australia. So we have a fair idea what that vehicle is about. So really that's the big news from Hyundai.
And the Grand i10, you mean, of course, the Grand i10 sedan. We've seen a lot of scoop shots of that. But so quickly after the Grand i10 hatchback, bringing in the sedan, they just want to cash in while the brand is on a high?
Well, I think the sedan and hatchback actually have been developed together. So really it's a question of, having the right cadence or the right interval. Typically, they could have even brought the sedan before the Grand i10. That's how some manufacturers do it. But I think really the time is right. They've seen the success of the Amaze. They know the Dzire is good and they want a part of that action too.
And another brand, we talk about developing a sedan and a hatchback together. I remember in 2012, Toyota had the Etios and the Liva hatchback, stars of Auto Expo 2012. Things haven't really been so smooth for the brand in the 2 years hence, but what are Toyota's plans for Auto Expo?
I think Toyota's plan is going to be a little bit more low-key compared to, last time simply because they really don't have a big volume model. Their main talking point is going to be the new Corolla. Now the Corolla is a very competent car. Globally, it's very well recognized, but in India, that executive segment is quite small. So obviously, it's not a big volume car, but it's still a significant car. I think the Etios, after that big bang, really the car hasn't taken off as much as they expected it to. And clearly the issue has been the styling. The styling really is too timid. People find it a bit too bland. And that's why they've got a concept like the Etios Cross, which really is a beefed up, a butch version of the Etios, looking a bit like an SUV. And Toyota hopes, it's going to add some sort of pizzazz to the styling and, find a lot of takers.
Moving to another Japanese brand that's on the up and up quietly but slowly, Nissan. We had the Terrano launch to reasonable success in 2013. What's Nissan's plans for Auto Expo and 2014?
Well, Nissan, actually, they've had a lot of good launches. A lot of them have been really ruined by very poor distribution. And right now, Nissan and their distributors are having a bit of a tussle. Hopefully, that issue should be sorted out at the time of the Auto Expo. Clearly, Nissan has taken the Datsun brand in-house, which means it's no longer going to outsource the sale and distribution of Datsun to Hover. So that's really the big news, and it's basically Nissan saying that we are going to take charge now of selling these cars, because clearly even a Terrano, which was really good, it hasn't done numbers purely because of distribution problems. But the talking point for Nissan is going to be the new small car concept. It's codenamed the i2, and for the first time we're going to see the Alto rival in concept from Nissan.
And staying with small cars and hatchbacks, Hormazd, Tata Motors, one of India's biggest car makers. What is on the pipeline from Tata Motors? Because I remember in 2012, there was a lot of buzz about the Safari Storm, but when you saw that vehicle, you kind of went, oh, okay, this is the Safari Storm. But great things expected, and the name Falcon keeps popping up a lot.
Yeah, well, I think Tatas are putting up a brave front, a good, brave effort. That's what I would call it, because they don't have really any all-new product and they don't have one in the pipeline. So really, it's a lot of refreshes and deep refreshes, or let's say substantial changes. And the Falcon, which is known by its code name, the car's likely to be named that as well, is basically off the Vista platform and completely grounds up. They've done a lot of changes. It's got new suspension. The steering is completely new. It's just improved in a lot of ways. And even the side panels, the body panels, that's all been changed. So really, Tata are hoping that with this car, they're going to really, up the ante and really bring the Vista, which was, their mainstay. In fact, I think they're going to drop the name Vista. They're going to distance the car from Vista as much as possible. So even the vertical taillights, which are typically there in the design, that's been replaced by conventional wraparound taillights. So really, Tata want to position this new hatchback as an all-new hatchback. And that's really going to be the big talking point for Tata at the Auto Expo.
And you can't talk Tata without talking about the Nano. Any variants on the Nano expected at the Expo?
Well, I don't think we're going to see too many variants on the Nano, because I think with Nano, there's so much hype around it. You show a variant, people expect it, and if it's not close to production, they don't want to bring it. There's been talk of the Nano Diesel. From what we hear, that's been shelved. It's not going to be coming in a hurry. They developed a 2-cylinder and 3-cylinder version of it. But clearly what I hear is that the NVH, or the noise levels, are so bad that really they haven't been able to sort that out as yet. The 3-cylinder version, I believe, is a lot better, much more, let's say, user-friendly, and it's a pretty good product. But then again, the price of that has gone up. So really, Tatas haven't managed to crack the Nano Diesel, let's say, formula as yet. But I think what we're going to see is refreshes on the Ariya. Now, that's a great vehicle, actually, because the Ariya really deserves to do a lot better. It's so much better than the Innova in many ways, and I think there's going to be a bit of a refresh. But the talking point is going to be the 6-speed automatic in the Ariya. That's going to be shown, but that won't come until September 2014 at the earliest.
All right, we're going to take a quick breather here, catch our breath a little bit. So listen to a little bit of music and a word from our sponsor, and we'll come back with more.
Narrowed down on your dream car? Before you buy, head to carloan.kotak.com and check out a wide range of new, used and refinanced car loans. It's hassle-free. In fact, your loan could be approved in just 2 days, and if it's a customized scheme you're looking for, they have you covered. Call 1-800-209-5732. Visit carloan.kotak.com or email marketing@kotak.com.
Welcome back to the first of Autocar India's Expo Buzz podcast. We're talking about the new cars that we're going to see at Auto Expo 2014. Let's move to the luxury side of things, Hormazd. BMW, I've heard from a very well-informed source, in this case it's you, that we're going to see the i8 electric supercar come to Auto Expo?
Yeah, the i8 electric hybrid, actually. It's a hybrid, so it's a 1.5 petrol engine, 3-cylinder, mated to a electric motor, which is the same motor from the i3. Yes, absolutely. This is really going to be the showstopper from BMW. They are bringing the i8. That's going to look absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of people were expecting the i3, but we can confirm the i3 is not coming. The i3 is not going to be launched in India, because clearly the demand, or let's say the infrastructure for all electric vehicles, is really quite limited in India. So i8 really the flagship of BMW. We're going to get the 3 GT. BMW have announced that they're bringing that, and we're getting the new X5, again, which we've seen and driven and reviewed as well. So really, these are the 3 models from BMW, and I think it's going to be quite an exciting pavilion.
And another of their German rivals, Mercedes-Benz, great year in 2013, looking at growing and bringing in more models for 2014. And one of the Mercedes-Benz really exciting concepts that we saw at Frankfurt last year was the GLA. A lot of talk about that. Is that coming to the Auto Expo?
No, I think the GLA really, it's a compact SUV, and Mercedes believes SUVs are a growth area. This car is coming to India at some point, but not till 2015, and they don't want to bring a car so early and just get people talking about it. So the GLA, I don't think will be shown, but what is going to be very interesting, and I think one of the showstoppers will be the CLA 45 AMG. Now this really Mercedes sees as let's say it's the most affordable AMG right now in Mercedes' range in India when they finally bring it. So really, because the C63, E63 AMGs have become so expensive with the euro, I think this really is a great starting point for anyone wanting an AMG Merc.
And let's wrap things up for this week, Hormazd, with a quick word on Fiat and Chrysler and Jeep. Obviously, when we're talking about Chrysler, tell us what they're going to be showing.
Well, I think Fiat are going to be showing the, what's clear is that they're going to be showing the facelift of the Punto and the Linea. Both are there. We've got some spy shots of them. And I think what you're going to see from Jeep really is the usual stuff, which is the Grand Cherokee. Well, not usual. We've seen these vehicles expected here, but they still haven't launched them. So it's going to be the Grand Cherokee and the Wrangler. And these vehicles, Fiat or let's say Chrysler, are hoping to launch at the Expo.
All right, thank you so much, Hormazd, once again. And that wraps things up for the first of our Expo Buzz podcasts presented by Kotak Mahindra Prime. Join us next week when we'll talk about Maruti, Mahindra, Audi, and a whole lot more.
Narrowed down on your dream car? Before you buy, head to carloan.kotak.com and check out a wide range of new, used, and refinance car loans. It's hassle-free. In fact, your loan could be approved in just 2 days, and if it's a customized scheme you're looking for, they have you covered. Call 1-800-209-5732. Visit carloan.kotak.com or email marketing@kotak.com.